You call.
The time is 7:30. I call the September 2nd meeting of Yardley Borough Council to order. Please rise for the pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
America, for
the
the republic
which stands one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Manager Johnson.
Mr. Carlson? Mr. Stump? Ms. Scherer? Ms. Siegel-Mars?
Present.
Mr. Applebaum?
Here.
Mr. Feiner? And Ms. Thompson?
Present. With 7 members present, we have a quorum. Are there any community announcements this evening about upcoming events happening in or around the borough? We'll start first up at the table. Community announcements? Any from the table first? 1 second.
Just a reminder that Harvest Day is coming up fast, and that is September 20th, Saturday, September 20th, between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m., and that is it.
Awesome, thank you. All right, welcome, Ms. Howlett, please.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Martha Howlett. I'm a Yardley Borough resident. I am reminding everyone that Yardley Friends is having their flea market on September 6th, starting at 8 a.m. if you want to get shopping early. And yeah, hope to see you there. We sold out on vendor spaces, so there should be a lot to peruse. Thank you.
Any other community announcements this evening about upcoming events? Hearing none, we will move on to public comment. This is the portion of the meeting where members of the community can approach, state their name, whether or not they're a borough resident, and keep their comments to 3 minutes per item. Any public comment this evening? Dr. Perlmutter, please.
My voice is low tonight. I want to address an article. There was an article in the Patch that had some excerpts from President Thompson's online manifesto. There was quite a lot of misinformation I'm going to address. Quote, you said, I'm running for mayor of Yardley Borough. The mayor does not have voting power. You're not even aware of the duties of the office you are running for. The mayor absolutely has voting power. The functions to break ties on council votes. Another quote, it doesn't make sense to suggest that I would vote to disband the police force this year while I'm running to lead it. You're being disingenuous. You created the Police Transition Committee. You solely appointed all the members. You appointed yourself chair. You held secret meetings where you discussed merging and contracting to Lower Makefield Township. It was only after council members called you out that you interviewed for the committee. As much as you're trying to rewrite history, dozens of emails and documents obtained through a right-to-know request demonstrate that disbanding the department and contracting with Lower Makefield was exactly your intention. Now you have created a retention problem. The uncertainty of the future of the Yardley Borough Police Department has caused officers to leave the department and makes it difficult to get officers to apply, knowing there may not be a department. The police transition nonsense is affecting the public safety of residents. Another quote, Chief Golden is serving as both the administrative head of the force and as a patrol officer. You're re-envisioning the chief role to be a hybrid in this manner. So basically, you expect Chief Golden to do the work of 2 people to keep his job after Chief Kelly exploded the budget and ran the department from northern New Jersey. Chief Kelly certainly wasn't expected to perform management and non-management functions. It's pretty obvious you're doing everything to try to force Chief Golden out. You refused to make Chief Golden a permanent position and discussed a search committee for a new chief if you can't disband it. You also said officers who took bullets for this town. Your terminology is highly inappropriate and inaccurate. You said officers, I presume you're referring to Chief Kelly. Your statement indicates that you have no understanding of what actually happened during the incident because you have no background in law enforcement. It's my understanding that technically he was hit with fragments of the door and the shot of the shell from a Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun. You don't know the difference between birdshot and a bullet, caliber versus gauge, shrapnel versus bullet wounds. The incident was horrendous. It was horrendous enough without you sensationalizing it with misinformation and actually using a very vulgar street slang. Took a bullet for this town, unbecoming. Is that the kind of mayor you will be, exploiting a tragedy for your own benefit? And finally, you said, you trust that Yardley residents will see through personal attacks that lack substance. There is a difference between constructive criticism and personal attacks. Every time anyone disagrees with you, whether it's a council member, board member, or resident, you always claim you're being personally attacked. You even wrote a 17-page hate-filled email accusing your colleagues on council of personally attacking you when they brought up ideas you did not like. This is a pattern and indicates someone who's not a good leader. Playing the victim is not an effective leadership strategy, not to mention you are a disgrace to women everywhere who fought for years to be taken seriously. You have the audacity to play the victim when you are responsible for every officer in this department having to have to worry whether they will have a job or not. When you have been bullying committee members, council members, and censoring free speech, you probably think this is a personal attack. Nobody wants a mayor whose management style is to gaslight anyone who criticizes her.
Thank you, Dr. Perlmutter. Any other public comment this evening? Mr. Hofelder, welcome.
Thank you. Tonight I'm going to talk about something which has been bothering me the past few weeks, about the decorum during the meetings. I want to talk about the council meeting decorum, in particular what happens during public comment period. Most people are not comfortable talking to a public audience. We should encourage more people to comment about their feeling regarding issues affecting the borough. I have observed what I consider to be obnoxious behavior by one official that is totally unacceptable at a public meeting by an elected official. And that person is not here tonight. In particular, during at least 3 recent meetings, Dr. Perlmutter has made comments that Mayor Harding did not like. After she finished her comments, Mr. Harding proceeded to call her a liar. He knew he could get away with saying that, as she would not be able to respond to his incendiary remarks. For a borough mayor to be exhibiting such behavior during public meeting is despicable. Mr. Harding does not like Dr. Perlmutter because she has pointed out numerous times how the mayor made major renovations on his historic house back in 2022 without the approval of HARB or getting the necessary permits. Mr. Mayor, did you ever get the required permits for the major renovations? I had my house sided back in 2015. The contractor I hired did not have a permit, and the code enforcement officer shut down the job. I'm not complaining about that. He was right to do that. I am just illustrating how certain people have to follow the law while others, such as the mayor, do not. HARB had filed numerous complaints against the mayor, but no action was taken. It looks to me like there may be some quid pro quo. Prove me wrong. So maybe the mayor should not accuse other people of lying, since he is in effect lying about following the borough's building code. I believe that Mayor Harding owes a public apology to Dr. Perlmutter. Be a mature adult, Mr. Harding, and do the right thing.
Thank you for your comments. Any other?
I'm sorry. I was wondering if it's okay to reply to the first one?
Sure.
Yeah. Just in regarding the police, and I am on the Police Transition Committee, and I'm happy to look at ways to cut costs, share capital, whatever we need to do. But I just wanted to say that I think, as a resident who moved here 14 years ago, when you live in Yardley, and this is just my opinion, but when you live in Yardley, part of the deal is you have your own local police, not some other town. And I'm happy to say right here publicly, only one of 7, but in the interest of the public's assurance and morale for the police department, I will never vote to disband our police in any way. Anything that eliminates our police department, our police station, our officers with their rankings who've worked tirelessly for many years to protect us and to serve us. I, for one of 7 here, I'm telling you right now, I will never vote against that. I'm happy to look at ways to cut costs, but I will never vote against that. And I also wouldn't vote for any chief other than our interim chief, Golden, to be our chief, because I think he's proven himself. Again, that's my opinion. I just think it's important to state in conjunction with what you're saying. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Finer. Any other public comment this
Madam
evening?
President?
Yes.
I'd just like to make a comment also. I wasn't prepared, but since Councilman Finer made his statement, I'd like to make mine. And that is that every meeting that I've had an opportunity, and I will state so here for transparency, that I support the police department, and I too would never vote against or vote to dismantle it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Applebaum. Any other public comment this evening? Yes, Ms. Bassini.
One-pagers.
Sure. Yeah. I'll take your one-pagers.
Are they free?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have enough? Okay. Thank you. Excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Of course.
You can give one to Chief. too.
Okay, hi. Julie Passini, 132 South Main Street, Yardley Borough resident. I know that David Applebaum kindly brought this up to council. I believe it was the last meeting. We're looking as an EAC into putting up something called a chimney swift tower. And basically that is a 14-foot structure that sits on a metal base. The base is embedded in concrete. It goes into the ground, and it becomes housing for birds called chimney swifts. The borough has a good, healthy population of chimney swifts that are decreasing as their numbers are decreasing across North America. So we're looking to do this for conservation purposes and education as well. The tower is being supplied no cost by the PA Fish and Game Commission. They have a grant for 2 years that they're running to do this. Their goal is to get as many of them up in different municipalities as possible. So we're trying to do that here to help them out with that mission. And it's very important, obviously, from the perspective of conserving a migratory bird population here that maybe people might not be aware of. We all see birds migrate, such as geese and whatnot when they do migrate, but this is something else that's a little bit different, and we have, again, they are living in the structures in the borough in various places, so this gives them another option potentially. It comes with an interpretive sign as well that is being supplied by the PA Fish and Game Commission that will be customized with Yardley Borough's name on it, and I believe that I'm looking to put this on the agenda for the next council meeting on the 16th to do a presentation and have a discussion on. Yeah?
Yes,
Okay.
I like it. I don't know.
May I just ask or comment? You mentioned also that there may be a cost for the concrete.
Yep.
And that you have most of the money.
Not most of it. We have some of it.
Some of it.
We have an estimate, and then we have some money.
But more importantly, there's no cost to the borough, correct?
For the actual tower, yeah. And the concrete, like, the plan is to fundraise
No
for that.
cost to the borough.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no cost to the borough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, we have a question.
Julie, if you don't mind sharing really quick, what is the cost of the concrete?
Right now, I have one working estimate. So then it's, again, one.
Not going to hold you to it. Just what's
Gonna
the,
hopefully get more than one, but I had a fellow come out last week with me to go over to Fitzgerald Field to look at it. We can talk about locations next week. But he was looking at around $2K to do the dig for the hole, which is 4 foot by 4 foot by 3 foot deep, and then put some rebar caging inside of it, and then pour the concrete.
okay. And how much of that do you have raised already?
I have $280.
I'd be happy if this gets approved. Please reach out to me offline. I'd be happy to be involved in helping crowdfund the money for that. As someone who has successfully crowdfunded several projects around the borough or gone through different committees and spent zero taxpayer dollars, I'd be happy to make
Thank
this
you.
another one I help out with.
Appreciate that. Yeah, we are going to be at Harvest Day, and that will be something that we'll be educating the public on as well, of course. So hopefully maybe we can get some donations there.
Let me finish chewing. I just want to compliment you, and I know there's a question, but I want to compliment you on your involvement with the EAC to bring in the Bird Town designation to Yardley. You've been nothing but a godsend for us, and I really appreciate everything you've been doing, so thank you.
Thank you, David.
Yes, for sure. Ms. Taylor, question? Or do you have a new public comment after this? Okay.
It's regarding the chimney sweep. And the Birdtown representatives came to the last Yardley Borough Planning Commission meeting, and we looked at the plans and really nice drawings. Kudos, really very nice drawings, big plans. At the Planning Commission, we discussed various aspects of the plan, one of which was to get a building permit, which may impact on how much the concrete actually cost.
Oh, okay.
So, because 14-foot worth of towering wind, you want to see that it has a really good foundation. I personally was
I'll
sort of
repeat.
struck in that at my house and at George Baker's house, we have grackles.
Oh, yeah.
In the row of arborvitae.
Yeah.
And the grackles, as a group, are dirty, loud, nasty. So I was concerned about the actual habits of these birds, because when I looked up online, you have maybe up to 100 swifts living in a chimney. So,
Living, yeah.
but I consulted a friend of mine who was on the board of National Audubon, and she said, they're quiet, they're clean. So they got a good check mark from the Audubon Society as far as the neighbors are concerned. My husband and I also went down and walked off the dimensions of where either tower would be located.
Fantastic, okay.
Proposed.
Because we were concerned if there are neighbors there who have a clean view of the river, and whether the towers would obstruct their clean view of the river. Neither one will. In fact, they sort of camouflage the funeral home and camouflage a building over there. For the sake of transparency, I still don't think it's a bad idea to go to those neighbors and tell them what's planned. That seems only reasonable, that they should know that this is happening. And do include the fact that they're nice birds, because quite frankly, online, I didn't really find anything that was going to tell me that they're not going to be pooping all over and being a general nuisance. So,
Just for the folks at home, Ms. Taylor just gave comment about the EAC's proposal coming before the Planning Commission, and gave shout outs for the good plans provided. She was concerned about the mass of these birds, but found from speaking with, who'd you speak with again about this type of bird? I'm sorry, someone from the Audubon Society? I couldn't quite hear.
the board who was on the board of the National Audubon Society.
A member of the board of the National Audubon Society who said they're clean and not noisy, and Ms. Taylor walked the dimensions to see if it would obstruct anyone's views. It appears it wouldn't, but we should still maybe make outreach to the residents. I think I got everything very quickly. All right.
And there wouldn't be a pooping problem, I believe you said, is that right?
I'm sure they poop, but
I'd like to add one thing that, number one, Julie and I actually walked it out before she went to the Planning Commission. So thank you for acknowledging that, Susan. Number two, the one thing you should take notice of is that one bird eats thousands of insects. And this is already, and if you want to correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand that this is a very good location because they're already in that area of Yardley Borough, mainly due to the housing or residential area. So they are already congregating there. This would only embellish, is that
That is absolutely correct, yeah.
Correct?
I mean, I was out there this evening looking at Fitzgerald Field with a couple other EAC members, and I was pointing them out to them. Like, so right now, the birds are essentially staging to migrate south. They migrate to Peru in South America every fall. They'll do that around the end of October. And so if you go out to Fitzgerald Field right now around, it would have been like 6 o'clock p.m., there's just hundreds of them in the sky right now over there. And the reason for that is obviously you have insect populations near close to bodies of water, like the river. So, but they're raising their young in the chimneys and various structures within the borough. And Susan's point brings up a really good thing for me, which is to provide more education. I think that's really important. So that's a very good point. I understand it, but I don't know how much everybody else understands sometimes. And so that's I think a really good point as well.
I would just like to add that, well, first, I mean, put them in my backyard. I don't care if they make.
I feel that way too.
The mosquitoes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I appreciate you for all you've been doing to keep moving this along, because it's a bit hard on the bureaucratic end of things. This reminds me of other projects that have come before us, like with the ducks, and just, there's all these steps, and you've been persevering through the steps, and I really appreciate you for doing that and for making this happen. And I also want to ask you, while we're all here, are you clear on your next steps? Is everything set, or do you have any more questions in terms of your next steps, so that we can just answer them?
Anything you might need for the presentation?
Well, for the presentation, I guess based on Susan's point with regards to kind of canvassing the neighbors that are in that area, would you expect something like that for the presentation?
Before the presentation?
Yeah.
Just a promise that you would.
Okay, got
Is
it.
that correct?
Will we be voting on this at the next council meeting, or will it just be the presentation?
I would like you to vote, and so would Julie, so would the EAC.
Be notified, right?
I believe the only other board that I was going to address this with would be Parks and Rec.
Okay.
That was that the recommendation.
So in theory, there will potentially be a vote on this at the next council meeting to approve or
That would be
deny?
lovely.
Okay.
I mean, it would be better if you could just let them know beforehand, so that you
Yeah.
can come and say, I spoke to them and they're on board.
Okay.
Then we don't have to worry about, there's another side unrepresented.
Okay.
I would recommend it, and I would say, so first off, I love this. I think this is awesome. I can also say, though, if I was just sent this by itself without all the information and said, hey, this box is going to appear next to your house, I'd be, whoa, what's
What?
going on? So I think there's definitely the need for outreach and the why. And here's the thing. I mean, if one person doesn't want it, that doesn't necessarily mean we go, oh, well, one person doesn't want it, so it's dead. But if there's, 10 people want it and there's one against, that helps us to make a decision. And then the main reason why I asked is, so if you're doing it the September 16th council meeting, I'm not going to be here or by phone. However, I wholeheartedly vote yes to this project, assuming that outreach is done with the neighbors. So I wanted to give you I am fully in support of this project, and
you.
Full blessing of council to vote on this in my absence if that is the need to be.
Thank you.
Thanks for all your hard work on this.
Thank you.
Great presentation. Thank you.
Hopefully next week will be,
And this is the pre-presentation.
this is the
so really well done.
pre-presentation. This is warming you guys up.
Ms. Taylor, if it's a longer comment, would you come forward and make it so it's on the video? Oh, okay.
The planning commission, we also wondered whether it had been reviewed for the zoning requirements.
Yes. So the question was, has it been reviewed for zoning requirements?
I do not
As
know
of
that.
yet.
But it would be.
But Julie and I will talk to zoning and make sure it's okay.
Okay.
We talked to floodplain manager already as well, so.
Would there be any fees associated for checking, or, do you know? And I'm saying that only because
For
we.
borough projects, a lot of times they will help us out with the fees, so
Yeah,
we'll talk to them.
okay.
Were there any issues with doing this in a floodplain with the concrete?
No.
Wonderful.
Nope.
Awesome.
It'll be the last thing standing.
I mean, it's 14 feet tall.
If that thing's not falling down, let me tell you.
This could be an emergency evacuation place.
Thank you, Ms. Bassini.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Any other public comment this evening? Going once, going twice. Hearing none, we'll close that portion of the meeting. We'll move on to our consent agenda dated September 2nd, 2025. It includes approval of the minutes dated August 19th, 2025, approval to amend the minutes of the June 3rd, 2025, removing address, correcting a name, and the spelling of Sargeant, Event permit, breast cancer awareness, October 1st through 31st, Buttonwood Drive and Park. Banner permit, Fest for the Vets, 9/22 to October 6th. Certificate of Appropriateness, 25-21, 166 South Main Street for a roof. Does any member of council wish to remove an item? I will request we remove the minutes from August 19th and vote on those separately. Any other requests?
Nope.
All right, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve items B through E.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Motion was made by Councilperson Scherer, seconded by Councilperson Siegel Morris. Discussion on these 4 items. From the table first, and then I'll come to any discussion from up here first. Okay, come on up.
Yeah, my concern is the whole process of how these minutes are done, because when I'm looking through the minutes, a lot of things do not match up with what was actually said at the meetings. And who's the one who does a final review of it? This person is a lower level employee who supposedly is working on it, but who actually, do all of you have to look at these before they're approved? Like, I don't know what's going on.
So we get them on Friday before the meeting. We have the opportunity to read them, and we can either send our corrections before the meeting, or we can say them during the meeting, and she makes them, we say, make this change, and then we vote to approve pending that change, and then that change is made before they're put up on the website. Minutes are not put on the website until they are approved by council via a vote. So no, there's no review from council before they're drafted, but our vote is our review
But
and
for instance, the
approval.
name Johnson was misspelled. That was not corrected. That's still misspelled. And why somebody's address was added, when I looked at other past things, and they never gave their address at the meeting, and all of a sudden the address was added in. I mean, there's something going on there that doesn't seem right. I don't know.
I think we discussed,
it's
I think this was discussed the last.
Yeah, I think you brought, I wasn't here last time, I watched the meeting, you brought up points regarding, do we want to be super detailed like Lower Makefield is? I went back and looked at their minutes. That's actually different than they used to be, so they've made a decision in recent years to make them more detailed. So that would be worth a conversation with Lower Makefield. Why did you do that? Look at other municipalities, and then as a council, we'll have to decide what we want our standard. I think I said in an email to you today, in the past, we received guidance from our solicitor to keep them as brief as possible. But if council and residents wish us to not be brief anymore.
If it's so brief that it doesn't actually state what the person talked about, these are the official records.
Yeah, it's a good point. What happens when summarizing becomes inaccurate or becomes too brief that it's not capturing the full essence of the comment?
Because
So-
the minutes would be used in a court case. So if the minutes are completely different than what the actual record is from the live meeting, that's a concern.
It's not a word by word, everything that you say. It's a summary.
It's a business
Yeah,
document.
but what if it's summarized wrong?
Well, it's on video, though.
Yeah. May I
You
suggest?
want to hear the words.
Just constructively step forward. We talked about this a little bit last time you were here when the solicitor was here. That I think one way out of this is that we're low budget. We don't have big money like Lower Makefield does. But we keep our minutes like really, really the minimum that we need to do. And alongside of it, and I would work this out with the solicitor, we live in this era where the AI transcription tools are incredible. I've been using them. They're
AI is a
so
good option because
they're
it-
so
yeah,
good.
yeah.
And we have like a disclaimer that the solicitor could help us create and say, these are the minutes. This is the full transcript as transcribed by AI. Please note that this is a digital transcription and may be inaccurate, but here it is. So then we post them together, then you can see the minutes, and you can get deeper into it to see what did you say. Well, that's what it says. It may not be as 100%, but it's going to be a lot closer to what you said, that then somebody could go to the third step and look at the actual recording. So then, like, that wouldn't cost us anything, and it would solve, I think, the issue that you're...
I think you should strive for the most accuracy of it.
Yeah, I agree.
People are reading these minutes.
Right. Make it easy for people to access them because they'd be in the same place, is my thought.
And the other issue is that it seems like the Facebook things are disappearing. I mean,
The videos, you just have to Google Meta's data retention policy. So they updated their data retention policy.
but some of the current ones,
I'm
some of the current
talking.
ones are deleted, but they're ones earlier than that, they're still on.
We don't really control how they're rolling it out. They posted it in February, and our videos just started to be deleted last month. So we have no control over how they are rolling out their retention policy.
But I think that they're on YouTube, but to your point, and I think your point isn't also, I'm like one of these data hoarder type people. And I think that if possible, we should look into retaining the video files of all of our recordings.
We have the video
outside.
files.
We have the
We're
video
just not
files.
retaining them on Facebook. which I
Okay,
think is
so,
fine.
so what I would say is if Facebook doesn't make them available, we still have them and they're still on YouTube. And if they disappear from everywhere, then I think we could have a discussion of how to get them posted in a cost-effective / free kind of way. So they're not disappearing. It's just that platform. Facebook does, whatever they want to do.
Yeah, and it was one of the reasons why we moved away from our old, very mom and pop streaming system to a professional organization, because they do simul streams to multiple platforms. So if there is a failure on one platform, we still have it on the other. We're at the mercy of Facebook, we're at the mercy of YouTube, but having it in both places and having the video file means that we hope it will stay in one place.
So what's the policy of YouTube for keeping these?
They have not updated their policy, so they stay forever. There's YouTube videos up there that have been up there for 15 years.
One thing I noticed about YouTube, though, is it does not allow anyone to comment on the meetings. It's turned off.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. We can look into that.
I think it should be turned, and a lot of people don't know about YouTube. They just look on Facebook.
Can I just ask that, solicitor, is that like something that the comments off, is there any like precedent of whether they should be on or off?
The comments on the live video stream that's
Like
being
on the
provided.
YouTube videos of the recordings, the comments are turned off.
I don't think you can comment on.
Yeah,
issues.
and
It only has to be.
So that's something I could take a look at, but generally, when you're looking at using, electronic methods for participation, if they're turned off, it shouldn't be an issue, because it's not public comment that's being offered in the context of the meeting. It would be creating a separate forum.
So we're essentially using it as a hosting platform, not a discussion platform.
I would say too, and I have it pulled up right here, the comments are turned off on YouTube. They've also been, when the videos were on Facebook, before Facebook deleted them, the comments were turned off for those as well. So the policy is enforced consistently. I would say personally, I would be in favor of turning comments on. There's been times I've wanted to comment, and I, even as an elected official, can't comment on the video. So I just wanted to say for clarity, the policy that is in place is enforced.
It implicates another, so for example, under the right to know law, if those comments are being put out there, they need to be kept and stored somewhere. My recommendation would be not to open up that forum, but it's something I can take a look at and see, how other municipalities are handling it. It's a novel issue.
I just wanted to make sure we were okay to have them off, because I like the idea of on, but then on the other hand, I think about extra layers of.
And let me clarify too, that's my opinion as one of 7,
I
not.
do want to say, just make sure that the record is correct. Sometimes the button is not clicked. It's my understanding, I'm not an admin on the Facebook page. Sometimes the button is not clicked to turn off commenting. So it is not true that it's always off. It should always be off, but it is not always off.
Supposed to be. Sometimes it doesn't get turned off.
Good thing is you can come in here and talk to all of us, and we're, and instead of like commenting there, it's actually better to come in, because then we can have a two-way.
Yeah, but still, a lot of people don't know about the meetings and stuff.
Right.
But I mean, it seems like when there's negative comments, they get deleted, and people are wondering why,
Yeah, though that should not be happening.
Believe me, there's a lot of talk about
It's
it.
not happening. I mean, Meta deleted them, so let's not.
May I just contribute one thing? It's not a comment, it's just a contribution. For archiving purposes, yes, you should have a backup of the video, which I understand he has. As far as the minutes, I personally wouldn't want a long-form set of minutes for my purposes, but maybe there could be a link to the long-form AI. That way, for our purposes,
that's
we
what
can
we're
have a
saying.
short version, and a long-form could be a link, and I don't know if that's legal or not.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were just.
No, it actually makes more sense legally, because there are requirements about as far as who takes the minutes, who records them. So you would have your set minutes, and if council decided that they wanted to attach some sort of transcription to the end of it, that would be fine as well. We would just have to authorize somebody to basically sign off on those.
Okay, thank you. And I guess I couldn't hear, I'm sorry.
No, if there ever is any litigation and you had the long form where it was exactly just like a court record, a court case where you can see word for word what everyone said, so nobody can, because taking one word out of what someone says can change the whole meaning of a sentence. So, I mean,
Need a stenographer, though, I think, for that.
Now, with AI today, it's so easy to do that stuff, though.
But there would potentially be a cost to have AI transcription. Miss, are you finished? Sorry. I don't.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Ms. Taylor? And just for the record, we're talking about items B through E.
Anyway, to add my 2 cents to the minutes, if you go to a long form, you're essentially going to be in a position where you're hiring a court reporter. Okay? The Delaware Canal State Park went to long form minutes because we had a lot of criticism. There was one person. And the last minutes were 14 single-spaced, 6-point type minutes. And it will be the responsibility of the person taking the minutes, it will be the responsibility of the person reviewing the minutes, and it will be your responsibility to be reading all 14 pages, not a summary, of long-form minutes. So,
Just to clarify.
it becomes a process.
Yeah.
And very onerous to everyone involved.
I don't hear anyone up here entertaining long-form minutes. What we talked about is actually having the minutes be the minimum required minutes and using a free AI tool. Actually, if you look at the YouTube videos, they're already transcribed by Google, and saying, okay, these are electronically transcribed for your convenience. I don't think we would vote on those.
But I believe it would be your responsibility to also review and approve
That's
the
the question.
AI version.
That's the question, whether we could do a disclaimer that says this is for your convenience, been
They're not
digitally
going to be
transcribed.
accurate. I understand what you're saying.
Not usable for court.
It's something, if it's not considered the official minutes, we have separate minutes that are the official minutes, and council decides that they want to attach this transcription. I'll take a look at it, but I think there is a way to disclaim it and make it clear that it's just an electronically generated document.
Correct. Not even in the same document, like I wouldn't even put it in the same, because then we're voting on it, which ones are we voting on?
Yeah, I mean, that can be a discussion as far as.
But that's
how
kind of
it's
what we're
attached.
talking about, something
Yeah.
else
And
to answer this issue that would make it easier to take minutes.
personally, I would be extraordinarily careful.
Right.
Because you have 2 versions of the minutes out there, both of which can be used to someone's advantage
Right.
and to your advantage,
Yeah.
someone's disadvantage. So
Correct. Well, we already have the recordings
it's-
and the Google
The
minutes, so.
record is the record. Yep.
it's
is
a
what it
tricky
is.
thing.
Thank you. I always appreciate
you, Susan.
your firsthand accounts.
Good wisdom there.
Any other, what are we on? Any other comments on items B through E of the consent agenda this evening? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes dated August 19th, 2025?
So move.
Is there a second? Second. Motion was made by Councilperson Scher, seconded by Councilperson Siegel-Morris. Discussion? Any discussion from the public? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstain? Motion carries 601. All right, you have before you the finance report dated September 2nd, 2025. Are there any issues, questions, concerns? Otherwise, it will be accepted by consensus. All right, police chief's report, please.
Thank you, Madam President. For the month of August, the Yardley Borough Police Department answered 915 calls for service. Of that 915, 428 were proactive premise checks by the department. We conducted 139 traffic stops. Of those 139, 74 citations were issued. We also conducted 6 parking tickets, investigated 7 traffic accidents, and 6 arrests. That concludes my report.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Manager's report, please.
We're continuing to replace street signs. We're doing one section at a time in hopes to get throughout the borough within the next year or so. So far, we have Penn Valley, Brees, and that section almost done. We're going to be going down to Van Horn and Harper next. Real estate transfer tax for July was $15,190. We're still waiting on our August numbers. We're continuing to work on the 2026 budget, and I thank everybody who sent in their budget requests. We received more right to knows. Keep watching your emails because more additional requests have been coming in. For July, we had 7 zoning permits, 11 building permits. We do have a zoning hearing board for the end of September for an addition. And that is my report so far.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
Paula, how many total signs are we looking to replace?
We
Street signs, sorry.
have to do throughout the whole borough to make them PennDOT compliant.
And do we have I apologize if I don't know where the money's coming from, what budget and so forth, or is it being provided by someone else?
This is in our street improvement. We use the money from there. And I did like your idea. I have brought that to council before and actually talked to our solicitor Closser about that as well. And I think it's something that we can do in the future. But I think we should maybe replace all the signs and then do something with all the old ones instead of piecemealing.
Clarify for the public, my suggestion was, thank you. To clarify for the public, my suggestion was to provide some kind of fundraiser, if you want to call it that, with the sale of the signs for, mementos or, I live on Breeze. I would gladly pay to have a sign hanging in my rec room. And I don't know what position you would take, solicitor, but I think it would be kind of a cool idea to sell it. But I don't know if you can speak to that.
So it's just one of those issues as far as the borough selling property and what the consideration is. It sounds like Bucky at my office took a look at it, so I'll discuss it with him and your desire for it.
Okay, thank you.
One moment.
Yeah, just a question about the signs in the historic district. Are there any kind of, I don't know if you know about this, but are there any signs that are like designate a historic district that if we're going to replace them, we might as well just kind of use like different signs to kind of be like, this is the historic district?
I could check with PennDOT.
That would be interesting. Could probably cost the same, but then we'd have the sort
Might
of.
cost a little bit more, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Black and tan ones, like.
Yeah, I know I've seen them around somewhere, whether like a different color or there's some sort of like thing that makes it
What about
obvious.
streets that are half and half?
There's probably some, if the
there's
sign is in the
chocolate milk, I don't
historic
know.
district.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
Madam President, I have a second question. I'm a little bit confused, and I've gotten questions about it, and now I've gotten a concern from Harvest Day. There are still road signs that are saying that there's construction on West Main Street.
I know. I was looking for West Main Street all week.
Yeah.
think my change of ad-
So I just want clarification, because I honestly don't know, but is the work that the signs were initially put up for last week's, is that project still ongoing?
It is. They still have to pave that area, from what I understand. This is a sewer authority project. So I talked to Christine today, and she did talk to the contractor, who stated he was required to leave the signs up until they pave it, and the paving's not going to be for a couple more weeks. So she asked him if they would drape them, and they weren't very willing to do that, but they said they would turn the signs around. Which is still ridiculous.
One of the signs that's turned around on Main Street now is actually taking up an entire parking space.
Right out front here. I agree.
So I'm not complaining, I'm just simply stating what people have asked me. You said a couple weeks. Now, if it's 14 days exactly, that's before Harvest Day. But my concern is that we have a lot of people coming to town, and first of all, West Main Street doesn't exist.
Really?
Yes, Captain Obvious.
Laugh every time I drive by.
But in any case, I know that Harvest Day is concerned as well, and I don't know how to respond. If you can't respond now, I understand that, but if you could help me.
I'll talk with
figure
Sewer
it out,
Authority again
I'd be
tomorrow.
very happy.
I think it becomes a public safety risk at that point when we have a large crowd and nowhere to put the sign. So that's a accurate timeline, and then we really need to push that. They need to at least move the ones that are in the way of Harvest Day.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Perlmutter? Can you come up, please? Sorry, just so your comment can be heard.
So does this include like the parking signs that are being replaced? What signs?
Street signs.
These are the giant,
street
the giant
names.
orange.
Street names.
Street names.
Because I just wanted to say, there's a lot of illegitimate parking signs that have just gone up, that were never voted on. One of the worst ones is right across from the Hebrew Academy. That was never approved. They just, somehow when that house was built in the back, somebody decided to put up a parking space, and it really creates a problem. Because as you go up the hill, you don't see the car parked there, and apparently it's when school isn't in session, but they park there all the time, and it's not wide enough.
You mean striping on the pavement, or you mean like
An actual parking space sign that says something like after school hours, somebody created an illegitimate
telling you when
parking.
you can park?
Yes,
Like, not
for
when you
that,
can't.
so people could have 2 parking spaces there, and it's so dangerous, because you go up the hill, and you never see the car parked there. And it shouldn't be there across from the school with the school buses either. So
Are there others? You said-
there are others. There's some in front of stores where people created compact parking. There's a number. I had a whole list at one point, but the one that is so disturbing is the one across from the Hebrew school.
The one that says no parking 8 to 4 school days.
Yes, that shouldn't be a spot at all. That never was, it's never
You're saying
been.
that's
Then it would
No
need a
parking,
sign that
period.
says
No
no
parking.
parking. Because right now it just says, because I think the reason, and again, I don't know who put the sign up, so I'm not there to speak about that. But I think the idea is that during the day, if there's a car parked there, there's no way for the buses and traffic to get through. But at night, a resident can park there.
No, the whole side of the street is no parking.
'Cause it does say no parking further down, so
I'm sorry, the whole side, the whole side of the street is no parking. Somebody added their own personal parking space sign, and it's in a really bad spot. Even if I lived there, I'd be scared to park there. It's that,
You're correct. On both sides of the sign, there's no parking anytime, no parking anytime, no parking anytime, no parking anytime. In the middle, there's no parking 8 to 4.
They created a parking zone.
Which makes sense, because they can't park there anytime. They
verify
can't
that
park there
that's-
from 8 to
that
4.
that's-
That
All
makes
right, one at
sense.
a time, please, one at a time.
If we verify that the whole
be there.
street is no parking, can we just go and take it out?
well, there is the ordinance that every sign that was voted on and every legitimate sign is in the code book. So it's easy to see which ones, that one's pretty obvious.
Seems
But
like we should just unscrew it and take it out.
yeah, it's dangerous. I think it's dangerous.
Forever.
Bless you.
I would like you to share that list with Manager Johnson.
It just was a thing for a
and,
while. People were kind of adding their own.
And interim chief Golden.
I'll add one on North Main Street. That would be very interesting.
And maybe we can
Reserve parking
change
for
the name of
Friday.
Main Street to West Main Street. I don't know.
Or West Main Street, sorry.
All right. What are we talking about?
Are we still talking about?
Items? Your manager's report.
Yeah.
Manager's report.
I'm concerned about Harvest Day coming up. I live on Penn Valley Drive, and there's cars constantly coming the wrong way, and it almost causes accidents. And I know there's a sign that says do not enter, but cars do. This morning, while I was eating breakfast, 3 cars came the wrong way down the street. And it's going to be terrible on Harvest Day, but since they're having it over there this year. So is there anything that can be done to lessen the situation of there being some accident there?
Chief Golden, would you like to respond to that, please? And the question was concerns about folks driving the wrong way on Penn Valley, which is,
Yes, so there is a plan in place to have that cordoned off.
It's gotten worse in the last few months. It seems everybody's going the wrong way down the street. I don't know.
Okay. And it's first thing in the morning, you're saying?
All day long.
All day
It
long.
was this morning, there were 3 cars while I was eating breakfast.
Okay.
Do they seem like confused, or there?
we can't have conversations unless you come up to, and we really shouldn't have conversations back and forth.
I'm sorry.
Um,
I went outside a couple times and and some people get mad and start cursing me. I said, I'm not going to move, and I'll call the police if you don't turn around. And then they wind up turning around. So I actually
Sounds
been
like they
threatened
know
by
what they're-
people for
they-
telling them to turn around, you know?
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think we could probably use at the intersection of Penn Valley and Cadwalder on the upper part of the hill, we could probably use, we have the do not enter, we could probably use some paint on the ground. We've thrown this idea around before.
Or maybe just for that
Says,
one
"Do
day,
not
put an
enter."
extra barricade there, so they know they're only.
It's going to be totally shut down, right?
Correct.
Will it be shut down at College, at Penn Valley and College, so that you can't even get into the loop?
Correct. Yes.
Will residents still be able to drive around?
You'll be able to come off Penn Valley and go up, was that Cadwalder? As the one way?
Go like this.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
okay, okay.
And then go back up on
Not
West
stuck.
Afton.
Okay.
Right.
I'm just saying this is, it seems to be getting worse, so I don't want to have any accidents there. Once I pulled out of my driveway and a car came towards me and I just stopped and said, I'm not moving, you're going to turn around. And they finally turned around, but they stood there for a minute.
I can attest it happens all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so,
All right, thank you for
Thanks for
that
listening to that.
information. Sure. Salt bids?
Yes. The one-year contract with Morton Salt will end September 30th, 2025. With the Bucks County Consortium, they went out to bid twice, received bids and opened them August 13, 2025. So I'm asking council to vote to accept Morton's bid for salt, which is $61.86 per ton delivered and $61 per ton undelivered. So this is for just this upcoming winter.
Do I
For the benefit of the, I'm sorry.
hear a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion was made by Councilperson Finer, seconded by Councilperson Stump. Go ahead.
If you could just for the benefit of the public, discuss the difference in price from the previous.
Sure. It's actually a whopping 91 cents increase per ton from last year.
There you
So
go.
they hold pretty tight on these.
Salt has not
And
been
it's
subject to
also great that we do it with the
inflation.
consortium, so we have a whole group that we do it together.
Thank you.
And it's cheaper than if we just went to Wegmans and bought salt and started putting it on the streets?
I would think so.
Okay, good to know.
I don't know if that's the same salt.
All right, any other comments on the salt bid from the table first? Any comments from the public? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously.
My next item is Resolution 2509, and this is a little bit of housekeeping that we do every year. This is for the police pensions to waive officer contributions for the 2026 pension year.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Motion was made by Councilperson Scherer, seconded by Councilperson Siegel Morris. Discussion from council?
I would just like a short explanation, because I don't, what do you mean by waive? I just want to,
So we don't require our police officers to make any contributions to their pensions. Everything is done. We get state funding, and then we do have some tax dollars that go into it, but the state funding covers a good chunk of it.
oh, okay, thank you very much for the explanation.
Any other questions from the table? Any questions from the public? Yes.
So the police pension fund is the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement System.
PMRS.
I just wanted to point out that most police departments are now Act 600, which is not portable. So if we were to somehow merge or go with another police department, that the police officers would, their pensions would be frozen and they would have to start a whole new clock. So that's just something that's really important. And Lower Makefield Township, their pension plan is governed by Act 600. So it would, Yardley boroughs would not be portable to Lower Makefield Township. That's just something that I think is important to know.
So it's like if you've been working for 20 years towards your pension, suddenly you'd start at zero.
Yes.
Even if you're vested? Interesting.
Any other comments from the public? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Engineers report, please. One more thing. Oh,
Sorry, one more thing, Pat. My last item is our
Sorry.
MMOs, the minimum municipal obligation that we are required to put into the pension funds. This is a calculation on our salaries from now to the end of the year, actually for this whole year. So our minimum municipal obligation for the police pension plan for 2026, which has to be paid by 12/31/26, is $91,666. And for 2026 MMO for the non-uniform pension plan, the amount is $5,643. So these numbers just have to be approved by council, and then I send them on to PMRS.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve? Is there a second? Motion was made by Councilperson Siegel Morris, seconded by Councilperson Scherer. Any discussion from council? Discussion from the public? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions?
I forgot to say aye, but aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
And that is it, ma'am.
Thank you, Manager Johnson. Mr. Foley, please.
Thank you. We've issued our engineer's report, and they're included in your packet. Are there any questions?
Would you just update us on the, just for the benefit of the public, on the North Main Street sidewalk, the current process with the PICO and the gas line and the timing of the construction?
Yeah,
West Main Street, I'm sorry.
yeah, for North Main
That
Street.
sign, we should rename it West
We
Main.
did, today we did receive correspondence from PICO. They did make their submission to PennDOT for their HOP for relocation of the gas main. That's on a portion of our project site. We are, I've asked Manager Johnson to send an email to PennDOT to see if there's any way of advancing that forward. But once they receive the PennDOT permit, they'll be able to mobilize their contractor, and it was approximately 4 weeks for that construction work. And then our work will be starting after that work. So as we learn more where we are in the review cycle, if PICO shares that with us, we'll share that with council as well.
So basically, once, the way PICO works is once they have the HOP, they're ready to go 4 weeks, and we can let our contractor know. So essentially, once we get that HOP, which is a highway occupancy permit for the gas line, everything will be known pretty clearly at that point.
Correct, and their hope is to, since we've already received the HOP for our sidewalk project, the reviewer realizes that as well, since it's part of the, one of the steps of getting that done. But they've pretty much, during a meeting we had in July, Manager Johnson, our contractor was present as well, with PICO and their contractors, so we had that discussion on it. So their contractors are pretty much, on board. They completed their design, made that submission for permits. So it's just the process of moving that forward.
So once we get the permit, the 4 weeks of work is done to relook at the gas line, then our contractor starts. What's the timing of our contractor in terms of getting it done by winter or having to kind of finish up in spring?
It's more than likely going to be steps similar to phase 2, as we have our cold weather pavement. You have to put an extension in if and get granted by PennDOT in October. So I foresee we'll do something similar to phase 2. We'll patch it and then come back in the spring and mill and overlay that half width to get forward. But we'll continue with the construction of the concrete curb and the sidewalk as we did last for phase 2.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question from the submission for September 2nd. Is it appropriate that I ask a question regarding a particular property, Mr. President?
A property in the engineer's report?
Yes.
Sure.
It's nothing earth-shattering, it's just a question, because I read it and I was confused. Number 5 under general updates, Yardley Inn, 82 East Afton, it gives a timeline of, meetings between RVE and the applicant at Yardley Inn. And there's three, A, B, and C. In C, it says the applicant met with the borough on 5/14/25. There is extensive damage. The applicant would like to demolish and do a new reconstruction. The applicant will resubmit, obtain new approvals from Planning Commission and Borough Council. I'm not familiar with that. Are they actually planning to tear down the inn? Because that's what it reads.
Yeah. I mean, well, Manager Johnson and I believe our council was present during the meeting. There is some damage to the property, and there were some discussions that I wasn't part of. However, I'm adding that in, but they're going to be coming back in front of the Planning Commission for that. As of yet, we haven't received any resubmitted documents. So, you know, the update from May 14th is what we had here.
Yeah, so I have discussed this issue with the applicant's counsel, and there was also a meeting with some of the experts as well as representatives from the applicant. They are going to have to go back through the process. They'll submit a formal application, and it'll come back before you with an explanation of why this change is now being proposed.
So my assumption, I'm sorry, maybe I spaced out, but I don't remember anyone talking about demolishing a historic, building. So that's their plan. That's what they proposed.
Yeah, I mean, prior, right, their current land development application they submitted was to lift the existing building and relocate it temporarily to the existing parking lot as they reconstruct new foundations, and then go and place it, and then do some modifications that they presented due to their life safety items that they talked about. Since then, their professionals have, corresponded with the borough on other findings due to, moving it, being able to reuse it after it gets lifted up. They're concerned with that structural stability of it.
Is there an opinion of the engineer whether they should just not move forward with moving it?
So that's going to become an issue once they present a formal application. Mr. Foley will have the opportunity to review it and see exactly what they're proposing. But at this point in time, it's just a change in direction that they mentioned they were contemplating, and they're informed that they have to go back through the process and in front of everyone to get those approvals. So they will have more information about why they're doing it, how they're doing it at the time that application comes in. But right now, the only information that's been provided was just a general discussion about the direction they would need to take.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for the question.
Okay.
Anything else for the engineer?
No, that concludes my report.
Great, thank you. Solicitor's report, please, Mr. Griffin.
Yes, just briefly, late this evening, there's an agenda item. It's other business. It's item 15A. Late this evening, I received a signed copy of an amended settlement agreement and release. It's my understanding that that signed copy has some proposed revisions from the other party. So we discussed it and also discussed it with counsel, insurance counsel for the borough. And it was decided that amended version, that it would be placed on the agenda for the next meeting so that everybody would have an opportunity to review it and see it. But I do have a signed copy at this time from the other party. It just needs to be reviewed and then considered by council. So because it differs than the version that was included in your packet, we have agreed, and I would request that you place it on the next agenda.
Thank you. So remove for tonight, place on next agenda. Thank you. All right, moving on to the mayor's report, which there will be none. And now council member reports. Kim Siegel-Morris.
No report this evening.
Ori Finer.
The thing I'd like to discuss tonight is just that some of you may have noticed, thanks to David, that there is a crosswalk missing on Delaware Avenue and Afton. It was removed by PennDOT and will be replaced as part of the construction there in about 2 weeks. There was some confusion about it, but we got that sorted out, and it's coming back. So we didn't lose a crosswalk. That's all for me.
Excellent, thank you. Don Carlson?
As Paula mentioned, we've been working on the budget now. We've got pretty much inputs from everyone. You'll be hearing from me over the next 3 weeks because we've got a lot of work to do to get this over the finish line. I think that's all I had for tonight. Yeah, thanks.
At what point would be helpful to have like a robust working session and kind of try to clear the agenda of other items for that? At the first meeting in October?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we can do it then, yeah.
okay. Because I think that's the best way to get inputs
Okay.
from everyone timely.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. David Applebaum?
If I said I didn't have one, you'd be surprised, wouldn't you?
Oh, you got to steal the mic back.
I said you'd be surprised if I didn't have one, and unfortunately I don't, because I gave a fairly detailed one the last time we met, and nothing has really changed. So, yeah, no report.
Thank you. Michelle Scherer
Nothing to report?
and Jared Stump.
We already talked about West Main Street a little bit, but I've fielded calls from multiple residents about it. Calls, Facebook messages, text messages, Instagram messages. I think some chimney swifts dropped some messages off at my house. Actually had coffee with somebody yesterday, and they said, I've been avoiding Yardley Borough because North Main Street is still closed. And so I tried to talk to the contractor a little bit, and I actually ended up, the signs, the work was done Tuesday from 8 to 3, and then the signs were left up in the Continental Tavern and Starbucks that still said road closed to through traffic, big flashing lights. And when I didn't hear back from the contractor on Thursday night at midnight, I turned the one sign around. I laid the other sign down in the Kramer's parking lot. I put a cone around it so nobody would hit it. It is taking up a full parking spot, though. It's kind of off to the side. I think it's still in the right of way, so I think we're good. I don't think I left a sign on private property. Yeah, so as far as I know, the project itself was great. To give a little more clarity, I know we talked about this, but the reason why they do it this way, and they actually did this on the street in front of my house last winter, and it was 3 months that the street was left not repaired because it was winter. When they do anything with water or sewer, they don't immediately pave over it because, oh no, what if there's a problem? We have to dig up everything we just did. And so that's why the need to return in 30 days. But I agree with what Manager Johnson said, at least drape the signs, turn them around, do something. I think I saw somewhere through the grapevine that the contractor said this is standard PennDOT procedure, which I would challenge that it is not PennDOT procedure to leave a sign up that says the road is actively closed for a full 30 days. So I just wanted to let our residents know that we're making an effort to do something about it. Hopefully the work will just be done by harvest day and it won't be a problem, but we may need to look into this further. I don't know, Chief Golden, we might be getting the police pickup and temporarily rounding up signs for harvest day if we need to get them out of the way. But anyway.
May I ask a question just to?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have like that black mesh stuff? I don't know what it's called.
We have that.
That you could just put over and like tie it on?
We don't have anything like
You don't
that
have
now.
that in stock at the annex? Okay.
No.
Thanks.
That's like a swim material.
Does Wawa have a shopping bag that's big enough?
Yeah, they do.
I'm sure you could get some contractor bags from Home Depot. Probably do the same thing.
Is this the same contractor that is doing the other projects for the sewer authority?
Don, do you know the answer?
No, I think.
The big
main
project?
project.
Oh, it hasn't gone out to bid yet, so no.
Okay, yeah, so a little project before a big project is a good precursor for us to get our communication in place and figure out who's the decision maker, who has authority with signs, and make sure we have all of their cell phone numbers and contact details so that we can keep this from happening for the big project, because that's going to be more than a day project. All right.
I did reach out to Christine, and Christine is going to talk to the sewer authority. They do have a meeting next Wednesday, so I told them we want the signs moved at least for Harvest Day, so they will bring it to the board. But can I also mention trash is delayed one day? Nobody's asking about trash. So
is delayed one
Thursday
day.
and Saturday.
Okay.
Oh, trash is delayed this week?
This week? You mean like tomorrow?
There was an email.
Yeah, like tomorrow.
Wasn't there a holiday this week, sir?
There was an email.
You know what? I'm shocked because the chimney sweeps have not dropped off anything at my house about trash. This is the one time I have not gotten a message about trash.
Person stop. You said you have one more thing?
I do have one more thing as well. I remember what it is. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm a little busy at work right now, so my memory is a little bit hazy. If I don't remember in the next 10 seconds, we'll just move on, and I can always say it next week.
I admire you for giving yourself the time to try to think about it.
Listen, I'm working 2 jobs right now. There's a lot going on. So
All right.
All right, let's move on.
Good?
I don't get my full 30 seconds, Dawn. Jeez.
Well, you call it.
I'll say this: I've several people have reached out to me to ask about this, and I did reach out to the DCNR, and the reason that they gave me for the canal being low, and I know a lot of people may not like or accept this answer, but the official reason that they're giving is because the water level is below the intake. At New Hope, that's why there's not water in the canal at Yardley. I am asking for a little bit of clarity of why then there's water further down in Lower Makefield. I think it has something to do with the way the lock systems are, and I'm not going to say anything more because I'll be drifting into opinion, but I just want to say that even though we don't have control over it, and actually the person from the DCNR actually reached out to me proactively on Labor Day and gave me that update, so I'm just waiting for clarity on that.
Great, thank you. Thanks for looking into that. Anything else for the good of the order? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Motion was made by Councilperson Scher, seconded by Councilperson Steele-Morris, or perhaps the other way around. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 8:41.